Hello, 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 my beautiful people. How you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. It's the girl Lee coming at you with your midday snack. All right, guys. Today is a kind of it's a health. It's dealing with health, and it's a female health issue because this is the thing. And it's talked about but not really talked about. And what I want to talk about is endometriosis. In, endometriosis, when it comes to, basically it's within your over I'm going to say ovaries, your uterus. And give me one sec so I can pull up a little bit information. But I hope you guys are doing well. And remembering to say your affirmations. Yes, you have to be on track with your affirmation, guys. Daily affirmations. You have to be daily with them. Alright, endometriosis. No, endometriosis. There we go. So I just want to give a breakdown on what it is, what's the causes of it. And I'm going on healthline.com with it, with the information. It's also information on uclahealth.org. But basically, endometriosis is a disorder in which tissue similar to the tissues that forms the lining of the uterus grows outside of the uterine cavity. The lining of the uterus is called the endometrium. So when it's the endometriosis occurs when endometrial tissues grows on your ovaries, bowel, and tissues lining the pelvis. That's healthline.com definition. And uclahealth.org states is a disease in which the endometrium, the tissue that lines the inside of the uterus or womb, is presented outside of the uterus. Let me click on it. So I said today is a different type of topic. It's totally different than, yay. I mean, because it's all about health. Like, if you got to be healthy inside, you have to be healthy inside. And being healthy inside reflects on your outside. And I'm stating this is because I am an anemic. And through my process of anemic, it's when my iron is low. And then at the time of me going through this process, I was told that my red blood cells is not producing like it's supposed to. The count was low. So I was like really going through it. And the thing that had me baffled is because I'm like, I changed my diet. I am constantly talking about health, self-love. I'm constantly working on my personal development, my journey, my growth. And I just could not understand like what is going on. But, and I'm saying but, which eliminates everything I said before. The thing about it is, being as though I am so aware of how my body is in the inside, how it's growing inside, I was able to determine that that issue had occurred. I was able to determine that something is not right because I did not feel right within my body, and I pinpointed exactly what it was because I'm on a journey of being really in tune on who I am inside. Because it's like you don't know, you on a path of learning and knowing yourself. You always when you start this personal development, you constantly learning new things. You're constantly developing within yourself, and that's what you want to do. So by me on this path, I'm working out, I'm eating healthy, I cut back on sugar, snacks, and it's like I'm not understanding. At the same time, even though I'm on this path and doing all these healthy things, and it's like, well, how can this happen? The thing about it is, no matter how much healthy stuff you are eating, you still have to make sure you're providing the bodies with the correct amounts of nourishments that it needs. Now, one of my issues was that I was lacking certain minerals to help keep my blood count high, to help keep my blood level growing, which is dealing with my arm, my red blood cells in my arm and stuff. And by me not keeping it or not focusing on that, I'm just focusing on I'm working out, I'm exercising, I took all this out of my diet, I'm making sure I'm eating right. Yeah, I lost weight. Yeah, I'm toning up. And I feel all of that. At the same time, it was like, okay, I'm still lacking certain vitamins, certain minerals in my body. Basically, hello, you're missing something. We need it. So you have to listen to what your body say. You have to listen, be aware of what it's saying. Okay, back to endometriosis. And I'm on UCLA Health. And their definition is endometriosis is a disease in which the endometrium, the tissues that lines the inside of the uterus or womb, is present outside of the uterus. Endometriosis most commonly occurs in the lower abdomen or pelvis, but it can appear anywhere in the body. Symptoms of endometriosis include lower abdominal pain, pain with menstrual periods, pain with sexual intercourse, and difficult getting pregnant. On the other hand, some women with endometriosis may not have any symptoms at all. Now, the reason I brought this topic up is because about 2 to 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with endometriosis. Now, endometriosis is similar to endometriosis, but everyone is so familiar with endometriosis, so I wanted to talk about that. Because endometriosis is outside of the uterus and everything else, while endometrium is inside. So it's like the stuff that's happening outside of the uterus was not right, and like growing extra tissues and stuff like that. So I basically, when I was diagnosed, and how I found out I was diagnosed is because of how my cycles are and my cycles were to the point where at the time I was wearing tampons and I was wearing pads. I don't wear tampons anymore, but I'll get to that. Matter of fact, let me shut the door because I hear the wash machine, guys. And I want to show you something. Alright. You would think I'm doing a live, but this is fine. It's a video. So, like with my pads and tampons, I was literally changing every 30 minutes. When I say every 30 minutes, if I did not do it consistent on the time, it was like, oh my God, I had a big mess. And it got to the point where it was like, I had to be like, I cannot work this week out of the month. And then I was actually leaving out the house to go to an actual physical job. And it's like, this is crazy. I had to make sure I took a change of clothes, change of underclothes, so many extra backups and reinforcements that it was miserable. Now, I know when you're in your cycle anyway, some people, because my daughter, she is just like all about femininity, especially when she's on her cycle. She just feel like I'm just releasing stuff that's not, my body is getting rid of stuff that doesn't serve me and no longer want it. So yay, I'm feeling good. Me, I'm like, girl, be quiet with that mess. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm not feeling fucking good. I'm feeling miserable. I'm in pain. I'm constantly running to the bathroom every 30 minutes. I'm constantly timing it. And I don't even have to pay attention to the time. That's how terrible it was. It's like you just started feeling disgusting. And once I started feeling disgusting, it's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And just imagine trying to sleep. That's another thing. At night, going to sleep, I would have insomnia. Because it's like I cannot sleep. I can't sleep. I need to get some water, and I don't think I have any more. I physically could not sleep, mentally could not sleep. My body would be laying there. My body would be get to the point where it get tired by a certain time, and it's like by the time I know I'm gonna fall asleep, I know I have to get up to actually change everything. And it's like this is ridiculous. So the options they had told me was, well, you can get on birth control. Oh, and mind you, at the time, I was actually trying to conceive. Like I even, I was talking to the doctor. This was before I found out. I was talking to the doctor and was like, I really want to have a baby. I'm really excited to have a baby. Me and my fiance at the time, well, I'm still, at the time we was just engaged, and I'm like, we really want to make add to our family, have a baby. This is what I want to do. What do I need to do for the steps? I even went to a fertility specialist, and just to make sure, everything was good. Everything was good, except for them finding this extra tissues, and was like, well, yeah. And the only option at the time was, well, just get on birth control. My thing is, why would I want to get on birth control if I want to have a baby? Now, that did not register to me. So at that time, I said, you know what? Forget this. I need to cut back a lot of stuff, because I was researching heavy on what can cause it. Before I tell you what I was finding, let me tell you what it says here, because here it says, what happens when you have endometriosis, causes of endometriosis. The exact cause of endometriosis is unknown, but there are several theories that explain how and why endometriosis happened. Retrograde menstruation is one popular theory of its origin, in which blood and tissues from a woman's uterus travel through the fallopian tubes into the abdominal cavity during her period. Nearly all women have some degree of retrograde menstruation, but only a few women will get endometriosis. This may be due to difference in a woman's immune system. Another theory of endometriosis origin is called cleomalic metaplasia, in which cells in a body outside of the uterus can undergo changes to become cells that line the uterus. This is a common explanation for endometriosis at unusual sites like the thumb or the knee. Another possible explanation for endometriosis is in locations far from the uterus is that cells from the lining of the uterus travel through blood vessels or lymphatic systems, thereby reaching other distant organs of your body areas. Endometriosis can also spread at time of surgery. For example, a woman with endometriosis that undergo a cesarean section could inadvertently have endometriosis implant in the abdominal incision, so that she develops endometriosis and a scar from her surgery. Wow. Let me go to symptoms. Excuse me, my throat is dry. And I'm out of water. That's why I keep everything nearby. I normally have my glass, my other kind of glass I drink my water out of. Excuse me, guys. I mean, this is intimate moments. We being intimate with this conversation, and at the end, I'll tell you why I had to bring it up. Anyway, but I mean, it's health. It's about your health inside and out. Anyway, symptoms of, and I'm gonna go back to the other website as well and see what it says. Symptoms of endometriosis. Pain is the most common symptom of endometriosis. Women with endometriosis can experience pelvic or lower abdominal pain, pain with menses, the menstrual cycle, pain with intercourse, and pain during bowel movements. I never knew that one. Symptoms can be constant or, wait a minute, I lost where I was at. Can be consistent or cyclical, meaning that they worsen before and during the period and then improve. Women may have consistent pelvic or lower abdominal pain as well. Other symptoms include infertility, bowel and bladder symptoms, bloating, constipation, blood in the urine, or pain with urination, and possibly abdominal vaginal bleeding. And of course, the doctor had to diagnose. All right, let's see what healthline.com states. Did I already say what I said it was? If I didn't, I'm going over it again. I was on UCLAhealth.org when I just was reading that information. So now I'm on Healthline. And what they say about endometriosis is a disorder in which tissue similar to the tissue that forms the lining of the uterus grows outside of the uterine cavity. The lining of the uterus is called endometrium. Endometriosis occurs when endometrial tissues grow on your ovaries, bowels, and tissues lining your pelvis. It's unusual for endometrial tissue to spread beyond your pelvic region, but it's not impossible. Endometrium tissues growing outside of your uterus is known as the endometrial implant. The hormonal changes of the menstrual cycle affect the misplaced. See, I like this one better. I like Healthline better. The hormonal changes of the menstrual cycle affect the misplaced endometrial tissues, causing the area to become inflamed and painful. This means the tissues will grow, thicken, and break down. So this can be a reason. I'm going to continue to read, but if you're someone out there that be having like clots, this is another thing what made me seek a physician and get to gynecologist, is because I'm like, I was having clots so big that I just knew I had been having a miscarriage. And I said, it's no way in the world tissues this huge is falling out me. TMI, but at the same time, this is intimate moments and we having an intimate conversation. Yes. This is the longest my video ever been, because I'm like really passionate about health, and a lot of times you're not even thinking deep about your uterus and the causes, what's causing your uterus to do certain things, just not just have babies and hold them. Anyway, this means the tissues will grow, thicken, and break down. Over time, the tissues that has broken down has nowhere to go and becomes trapped in your pelvis. Wow. So basically, during your cycle, when it already inflamed it and broke some of the tissues down, some of the tissues just trapped there and stuck, which causes your flow to be heavy, which causes to be painful, which causes pieces of your tissue to just fall down, and it's not shedding like it's supposed to. This tissue trapped in your pelvis can cause irritation, scar formation, adhesions in which tissues binds your pelvic organs together. Severe pain during your periods, fertility problems. Endometriosis is a common gynecological condition affecting up to 10% of women. You're not alone if you have this disorder. Okay, you already figure you're probably not alone. At the same time, this is something you just don't want to keep going through. There are symptoms. Endometriosis symptoms. The symptoms of endometriosis vary. Some women experience mild symptoms, but others have moderate to severe symptoms. The severity of the pain doesn't indicate the degree or stage of the condition. You may have a mild form of the disease, yet experience agonizing pain. It's also possible to have a severe form and have very little discomfort. Pelvic pain is the most common symptom of endometriosis. You may also have the following symptoms: painful periods, pain in your lower abdominal before and during menstruation, cramps 1 or 2 weeks around menstruation. And I used to experience that. I would be like, okay, I'm not even on my cycle. Why am I'm cramping up real bad? Why does my I used to be like, why does my ovaries hurt? Oh my gosh, my ovaries is hurting. Heavy menstrual bleeding or bleeding between periods, infertility, pain following sexual intercourse. This causes, when you're having sex, you will be in severe pain. Some people not. Discomfort with bowel movements, lower back pain, and that may occur at any time during your menstrual cycle. You may also have no symptoms. It is important that you get regular gynecological exams, which will allow your gynecologist to monitor any changes. This is particularly important if you have 2 or more symptoms. So basically, if you're suffering 2 or more symptoms, then yeah. All right, now back to me. So I basically did not want to take the birth control pills. I said I do not want no hormones in my body because I want to have a baby. I'm trying to conceive. Why would I want to put hormones in my body? Why would I inject myself like that? And basically, I had to cut back so many things. And at the time, it was like I have fun now, a lot of fun. But at the time, I used to think fun was having glasses of wine. Just give me some wine, I'm good. That's not how I live life now. I mean, I was younger. It was 3 years ago. Yeah, I was younger. About 3-4 years ago. Give me a glass of wine, I'm good. At the same time, though, the glass of wine was me coping with something else. Me eliminating another pain that I did not mentally want to deal with. So I just wanted a glass of wine. Not every day. No, I never drank a glass of wine every day. The weekends, yeah, so I was a social weekend wine drinker. I cut that completely out because I did some research to find out what can eliminate this happening, what can help decrease the pain, decrease what it's doing. And alcohol consumption is one of the main causes. Do it have it on here? Let's see what it say with what causes in a minute. That's like a big cause of endometriosis, dealing with the pain, the heavy periods and stuff like that. That was one of the big causes for me because I felt like me drinking. I was constantly eating just anything. And I just was like, well, let me just change my diet. Let me change what I'm doing. I switched up a lot of things. I did that for a whole year. Went back to the doctor. And I went to a different doctor. And when I went to the different doctor, she was like, who diagnosed you with that? Because I'm not seeing anything. And I was like, are you serious? That's also when I began to be on my meditation journey, my self-love journey, my self-care journey, personal development, realizing that I'm sleeping on myself. Of course I was sleeping on the world and what's going on because I was in that matrix. But I said I'm sleeping on me. I was sleeping on me. I have to wake up. And that's what I decided to do. I decided to show up fully. I decided to show up. And once I decided to show up and I changed so many different things in my life, the issue went away. Now today, for some reason, I was not diagnosed with endometriosis, but I was diagnosed with having I had a pap smear done. And then within the pap smear, she did a after that, she said she wanted to do a sonogram to look internal to see. The sonogram showed that I had polyps I'm like, okay, where in the hell these polyps come from? What the fuck? They back? So yeah, I just was like, this is just not right. Also, I kind of knew that it kind of was developing back because of my iron levels dropping. When you're dealing with endometriosis and it's causing you to have heavy cycles, it's you're losing a lot of blood. You're losing more than you normally. Yes, you bleed every month anyway, but sometimes you losing more than what the normal amount's supposed to be gone, because it's like trying to shed away the tissues that's there from previous tissue. And that was the doctors was like, when I was in the hospital and stuff like that, and they seen that my arm was low, they was like, it gotta be that the cause. So come to find out, I have polyps now. I go to the doctors next week, and since I am being consistent with having intimate conversations with you guys, the day I go to the doctors, you're gonna know what's going on. So I have options ahead of me, and of course I am not getting on birth control because I do not want to inject any hormonal things in my body. I just don't. I have been thinking about getting my wound and stuff scraped, which is basically a DNC, when they just scraping all of the extra dead tissues out. I really think that's the option I want to go with, and that's what I've been really thinking about. I'm going to put it in prayer more and see what I get when I meditate, but that's what I came up with when she said there's a few options. And this is just making me feel a little emotional because I really never sat there and actually had the conversation with you guys, and now I'm really thinking about it. It's like, for so long I used to be like, I just can't take it. Take my uterus. I don't even want to have a cycle anymore. I don't want to bleed no more. I'm done with it. I don't want no more. I'm good with the children. I went and got a puppy, guys. When I found out this was causing infertility, I was like, I'll just get a puppy. I'll be good. That was hard because I really didn't want to get the puppy, but it was a substitute, and I had to go with it. I have kids. It's not like I don't have any children anyway, so I'm like, that's a good substitute. At the same time, it's like, it's something you just don't want to deal with on a regular basis. And I think I'm going to have to make this a part 2, because I still need to talk about what causes endometriosis, and I don't want to have a hour-long video. It's not a live. At the same time, it's like, yeah, it's really touching right now. I'm really emotional that I have to deal with this month to month. So I just really hope when I go to the doctors next week that a solution is finally resolved, because I'm noticing this is like every few years it occurs again. Was diagnosed with this some years ago, and then it just keep coming back. It's just like it keep resurfacing, and I'm so tired of it. No matter what I'm doing health wise, it's like I'm really focusing on my health more now, and it's like, what's going on? And it's like, you focus on your health, you walking into this health path, this health journey, and then you still want to hit potholes. So I want you guys to know that even though you may hit a pothole, the road still exists for you to keep continuing to go. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to continue to take this path with you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Today's daily affirmation, guys, is I am healthy. 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 And I need to remind myself more and more that I am healthy. Because the more I internalize it and mentally tell myself I am healthy, I am bringing that healthness to my body. My yoni is healthy. My uterus is healthy. My vajayjay, whatever you call her, my vajayjay is healthy. My uterus is healthy. My fallopian tubes is healthy. My ovaries is healthy. My organs are healthy. I am healthy. That's today's daily affirmation. So yeah, I think I will talk about this again. And when I talk about endometriosis and stuff like that again, I will be talking about it the day of my appointment, which is next week. Thank you guys. And remember, have peace in your mind, love in your heart, happiness in your soul. Namaste. Until next time.